Hi guys, in my previous video I shared about how to read the green and the red candles, the price movements, the opening price of a particular stock, the closing price, the highest price it traded, the lowest price it traded on the daily, monthly and the weekly charts. If you have not watched that video, please go back, do watch it. I think it will be very useful. So in today's video, I'm going to share on moving averages. So as the name suggests, moving averages are basically average price. Okay, it's a line, it's an indicator, it's a technical indicator which actually averages out past price movements. Okay, what do they usually use it for? It's usually used to determine entry prices and exit prices by investors and traders. So let me show you how it works and you'll have a better understanding from there. So what you're going to do is you're going to look for this thing called indicators. Click on it and this little box will pop out, and then look for moving average. Okay, there are a lot of moving averages. I'm more concerned about moving average exponential, okay, or they call it EMA. What's the difference between the normal moving average and the moving average exponential? Moving average exponential gives more weightage to the recent pricing, so it is more sensitive. So I prefer to use moving average exponential. So I click on it and you will see this little thing popping out, and I need 4 of them. So I'm going to click again, and click again. So you'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you can close this. So you have 4 of this. So you see these numbers here. We've got to change these numbers. These numbers basically indicates the number of candles that it's going to average out for you. All right. So if you see, there will be a format button here. So you just click on that. So this little pop-up box appears. So I'm going to input 20. So this is usually the standard length used by most traders and investors. So, and then I'm going to put 20. I'm going to leave the color as blue. I'm not going to change that. Put it OK. And we're going to change the next one. The next one is going to be 50. And I'm going to change the color to orange. Got to be different colors so you can see the differences. And the next one's going to be 150. I'm going to change the color to, say, green. And the last one I prefer to use red, and it's going to be 250. Alright, so once I put in the numbers, you would see the lines appearing on the chart. So now let's have a closer look on how these lines actually help you with your entry as an indicator. So if you actually look very closely, you will see this is a SPY chart. Yeah, so if you actually look at it, it actually drops and it bounces off the EMA lines. Drops, bounces off, drops, bounces off, drops, bounces off. So it drops on the, this is a 50 EMA, right? So it usually acts as a resistant. So these lines acts as your resistant. So basically they bounce off those lines. So that can be a very good entry point for you to take some positions. So now let's look at the recent price movement of SPY. Recently, SPY actually pulled back quite a bit. The highest price it reached was 479, but recently it dropped all the way to my 250 EMA. But before it actually dropped to 250 EMA, it actually cut my 20 and then went to 50, and my 50 EMA actually acted as a good support here, and it retraced back up before it actually dropped again to 250. And at 250, it's also acting as a support for the past 3 to 4 days, right? For 3 to 4 days, it was acting as a very good support, and then it went back up to my 50 EMA, and my 50 EMA is now acting as a very good resistance. Now currently SPY is trading at 150 EMA. Is how do I use this EMA? Is usually to enter in trenches, basically dollar cost average down. So I'll usually wait for SPY price to drop to say 50 EMA, and if I've decided to buy 15 shares, for example, at 50 EMA I might buy 5 shares, and as it drops further at 150 I will take another 5 shares, 250 another 5 shares. We will never be able to time the bottom. You'll never know when is the bottom going to be. So the best strategy to use will be to dollar cost average down. So as it drops, take some positions. And you can also do this on your weekly candles. So it works for weekly and monthly candles too. So if you see, I'm going to expand it out. Okay. So if you see it acts as a very good support, bounce back up, support, bounce back up. So it's always bouncing off the EMAs, and now it breaks through this EMA 20 to my EMA 50 on the weekly candles, and then now it's somewhere here. So I usually like to use both my daily and weekly candles. So as you can see here, it's acting as a very good support. So now it's trading between the 50 and the 20. So I'm watching SPY. Let's see how it goes. And so what usually I don't do is when the candles actually go stretches out, far out from my EMAs, I don't take a position. So if you see, like example here, I usually don't take a position. I'll wait for it to come down to my EMA. So I let it come back to my EMA before I take a position. Yeah. So this is one way, one strategy that you can use to plan your entries for a particular stock. This works for most stocks. Okay, so let's see, for example, if you want to do Microsoft, I'm going to do the daily candle. So even for Microsoft, if you see, the 20 EMA also acts as a support. See, do note that it's a range. It may not always be exactly at that point, but yeah, it's about there, you see. And then it goes up, bounces back up, but what goes up has to come back down. So if it's here or here, I will not take a position. I'll wait for it to come back here. I would have taken a position here at 332 instead. Yeah, and then it dropped again. I would have taken a position here again. So this is how I time my entries. So you can do the same if you're planning to buy shares. I hope the video was useful. If you have not watched my previous video, please do go and watch my previous video and come back to this video. Yeah, thank you very much for watching.